It is Monday. Hope you're having a nice day. We've got some fire weather to talk about. And before we get started here, I want to show you a website. And I want you to bookmark this website. If there's certain websites, what I should do is I'll put it on my links too today. But this is called watchduty.org. Watchduty.org. You can see it up in the corner up here. It is a website that updates fire, air quality, a lot of things, warnings, watches. And it's updated really aggressively. In other words, like the point fire right now is our fire in our zone, and it's a fairly aggressive fire, right? It's over 1,000 acres. And first thing you note is right away you see, okay, well, there's the fire right up here. I don't know if you can see the big burn area, but you can also see the colors of those circles, those dots. That's air quality. So smoke blowing from the north into the Bay Area has created a spare the air day for us today. Maybe tomorrow as well, but the winds tonight and this afternoon are going to clock more northerly, which means that that smoke will continue to come in our direction. And the fire zone is going to get hit pretty aggressively with some fairly strong winds and dropping in humidity drops, which is not helpful. It's not a heat event, right? Temperatures are going to be in the 80s. It's not like 110 degrees, which is so typical with our fires. This is a June fire, so it's a little more, it's different. And this is the point fire here, and I just click on it. Thing was updated 12 minutes ago. If you look over here to the right, where my cursor is, right over here, 12 minutes ago, and it's almost 1,200 acres, 20% contained, and it kind of gives you any updates. The thing I like is you look at the cameras. You got this a live camera of it's snapshot camera. It's not live, but it takes a picture every few minutes or so and sends that in, and just nonstop information about kind of what's going on, how it looked last night. So you can get, if you live in an area, well, if you live in California, for crying out loud, you want this because with all the fires that we've had over the last few years and the consequences from insurance and whatever, just knowing what's happening around you is important. So I do happen to know some people up in this area, and they're watching these fires, and they know as much as I know. They just look at this. This was a great website. And again, you're like, well, I live in Oakland. It's not impacting me. Well, it is. The air quality from that fire is coming your way. And this is how the summer's going to go. Now, the thing I want to point out is that in this case of the point fire, it's even though it's in a red flag warning, we're seeing wind directions. The winds at the surface, these little arrows represent the wind directions. So you see little south winds coming into the fire. And then up here, every once in a while, you'll see, I think there's a little bit of north wind starting to show. So these south winds have been blowing all night. And that's actually pushing the fire a little bit back on itself. But then this afternoon, these upper level winds are going to work their way down to the surface. The winds that are blowing the smoke around are going to work their way down to the surface in this afternoon. And that's going to push the fire back on itself again. So I think that works in the firefighters' favor because you can read through this and you'll read descriptions of that. But for the most part, this fire is going to have more wind on it this afternoon and lower humidities, not incredibly high temperatures. The other thing that's going on with this fire that's very different than a typical fire in the summer is it's not August, September, October. In other words, the fuel moistures in the large vegetation is pretty moist, right? So you're getting, it's not like these dry weeds that we have out in Mount Diablo. There are some of that, but these oaks and these pines are laden with moisture. And one time I grew up in Paradise, and so I went up there. I was up there during the fire, and I saw it firsthand, but I also saw it after the fire. I drove around, and one of the things I noticed right away was all the houses are gone, and these huge pine trees, even though it was late in the fall, these huge pine trees were not that damaged. Some of the oaks went, but it was surprising how many when you have these huge trees have a lot of moisture involved in them, and especially this time of year. So I think in terms of concern for the fire, yes, there's always concern for the fire, but I think that it's a fortunate thing that this is the time of year it is. So what we can do here is we can click out of here, and then we'll click to here. And what I want to show you is the areas, the coverage of this map. And you can see, right? So then you see the air quality. I don't know what's going on down there in Palo Alto, that 290, 283, that purple air quality. But this is all smoke bleeding in from the fire at the upper elevations and all the way down to the South Bay. And there's a Philippe fire. Maybe that's where that smoke's coming from, down in 16-acre fire. Let's go take a look at that. Why not? Let's do that. Pull it in here. Come in here. Let's see what this fire is. I don't even know. It might be an older fire. It looks like they don't have any information. Fleet Fire, East Meadow, 17 hours ago. So it's an old fire. They probably got a handle on it. But anyway, that watchduty.org, I would grab onto that site and I would live it, love it. And the other thing is, too, I work in television. I used to work in radio. Now I'm on the internet. But, you know, the information you get from television and radio, it just can't give you the real time like that watchduty.org. And that's, you know, that's how it is now. You just get really good, fast information, especially if you have a phone or a laptop. Here's the smoke. This is the arrow I'm putting in, but see just below the arrow here, that's the smoke from the fire. And it's not as obvious as it was last night. You can see more smoke there at the upper level winds. At sunset tonight, you'll probably notice more of the smoke because of the lower sun angle and the atmospherics being thicker to go through. What I want to point out here is, and I'll do this. I'll put an arrow here and an arrow here. That's about where we are. And so, if you can kind of keep that in your mind, watch that little yellow cut. See that little. Well, it's so hard to keep up on this, but see that in the valley, you see where the heat is, right? There's the valley trough. And then you see it every afternoon, it heats up. But that little dip, this little dip right here, right there, it's little. But that's what's going to keep us out of the 90s and low 100s. It's going to keep us in the mid and upper 80s. This whole week looks pretty, not mild, but it's not a heat wave, which is nice considering the dynamics with this low and what's happening now up north. This kind of pattern would typically blow temperatures up, but it's not. There's good onshore push each day for us in the Bay Area, which will help with smoke, which will help with everything else. This is Ocean Beach. This is a bunch of pictures of all, Central Ocean Beach, South Ocean Beach. First of all, no fog, as you can see, and just a beautiful day out along the coast. The winds will pick up this afternoon, probably out of the north, and they'll start blowing that sand around. This is Halama, which is down by Point Conception, and it is actually at the tip of Point Conception. No fog there either. Only fog I can find today is down towards just south of Los Angeles, down into San Diego area, and even they're going to get a break today from the fog. So what's happening? Yeah, this is happening. I'm going to move this over here. And you can see we've got temperatures at top tier numbers representing the whole week. So a little warmer on Friday and Saturday and Sunday with low 90s, but not out of the norm at all. So again, watchduty.org. This week looks pretty darn nice. We're dealing with smoke today and the fire concerns tonight, but I'm going to bet you by tomorrow at this time the point fire is a good 40-50% contained is what we're hoping, and I think it will be. Okay, we'll see you back here.